What is happening today, traders? We are going to be covering ticker symbol AMC today, and you closed the week red. You didn't have a great week. Overall, you closed the week red on low volume, mind you. So I've drawn up two pictures that I could see happening going into earnings here in August. The first one, and let's go back to the daily here. The first one being a potential bounce back into this uptrend. That's what you'd like to see if you're hoping for the bull case scenario of AMC earnings. And with the price so suppressed at 280, the 200-day EMA has continued to kind of slope down, which on the long-term scale of things is going to help you get above it, which we want to do. First, of course, you have to get above the 50-day EMA at $3.11. But once you do, and this continues to slope down, it is only a matter of time. Price is going to kind of pinball between the two, and then you'd see either a dramatic rejection or dramatic uptrend for price confirming its new range, right? So the first thing that you could see happening, and you'd need to see it happen right at the start of the week, is you'd need to see price regain this uptrend and tap $3.20. The good thing being that it was low volume and you're already oversold on the RSI, right? What could also happen is you could see continuation on this downtrend. It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty nasty what you've had happen to you this last week. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of just red, which typically when it's happened in the past, you get some kind of relief and then further rejection. So what you could also see happen is relief into this uptrend at pretty much $3, and then that would be the worst case scenario in my opinion, is if you come back to test $3 and then you reject, because then you're for sure going into this triple bottom at 250 to 240, depending on where AMC wants to bounce there. But once you do get there, regardless of the circumstance, I do expect a nice sized launch off of AMC once it gets to this zone, as it has in the past. You zoom out, you've had a picture perfect double bottom, and that's why I want to see this trend hold, is if you're able to hold this trend, you have a picture perfect double bottom. But if you get to this zone, last time you touched it, you went up 50% in 1 week, and then 29 days, 400%. Whoa, how did I do that? That was kind of cool. And then the second time it happened. That's why I picked a parallel channel. I'm a silly guy. In 50 days, you went up 70%. So regardless of what happens here, guys, it's going to be okay. You're going to continue to consolidate. The rest is all just chop, to be honest. You have the Fed meeting on the 16th, the 17th here. So I do think that you could see some kind of correlation with the bottom and then some kind of relief, because the Fed, mark my words, is going to cut rates in September. The labor statistics and the jobs report came back last week, coming back weak, unintended. The job report came back weak, which was the incentive of why the Fed actually cut rates last time when Joe Biden was president. In 2023 or 2024 was the last time he cut rates, and he did pretty quickly as soon as he saw the labor statistics come in. So I would expect around end of September, mid-September, to see some kind of extreme bull rally, because as soon as you do begin to cut rates, guys, I would anticipate a lot of risk on assets and money flow back into crypto, small coins, and small cap stocks, as it usually tends to do. Now let's go to the macro and let's talk about our theory. In case you've missed it, we've been covering the monthly Bollinger Bands on AMC and how they have never been tighter. Your upper band sitting at $5.40 and your lower band sitting at $2.19, with the mid band sitting at $3.83. Getting above $3.83 is going to be pivotal for AMC's history. Not just the stock, but the theaters too, because the theater is quite literally reliant on the stock price recovering. You have never closed above AMC's mid-band since March 31st of 2022 was the last time you were able to close above it. And you are now looking to test it. At least you'll see some kind of breakout or breakdown before November from this macro wedge. But you'd like to see this thing test the mid-band, get above, and then for this upper band to begin to expand, because as soon as you begin to expand that band, guys, I know, expand that band, you got to pump it up. Here we go, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. As soon as that band begins to expand, you should expect a gap fill at $13, $19, and $43. When that happens, no idea. I'm just covering the stock, and what the macro is showing me is that if you are able to string along a couple good quarters with good fundamental news, this thing is going to absolutely tear faces off. Onto the quarterly chart here, guys. You're curling up on the quarterly MACD since the first time since 2021. And you could argue that that's the most bullish thing that I've covered all day, besides for the Bollinger Bands. Those two in unison paint a really similar picture that this thing is bottoming out and that you're forming some kind of double bottom formation here, just like you did back in 2020. You formed a pitch perfect double or even triple bottom. I could call that a triple bottom right there because you touched one, touched twice, touched three times. And you're doing the exact same thing right now while the MACD curls up. A lot of confluence and a lot of things to love here, so long as you're able to hold $3 and so long as you don't make another all-time low. I think if you make an all-time low again, it would be a little too iffy for me. I wouldn't want to see that from AMC. But let me give you some hopium here, because NEO is doing the exact thing that we've preached on AMC for months, literally months. Since this channel existed anyway. No one's really covering the Bollinger Band theory, but NEO is doing the exact same thing. Went from $3, you formed an uptrend here, and then you quite literally just squeezed or had a fantastic 42% move, and you started the month, guys, above the mid-band while having the tightest Bollinger Bands on the price's history, guys. And it seems like a lot of the risk on assets or smaller cap companies are doing the exact same thing all in unison. When have you seen that before? Back in 2020. Not financial advice, but I think you could do something very, very similar here. And the company kind of depends on it, to be honest. If you don't get above the 200-day EMA, which happens to line up perfectly with the mid-band of the monthly Bollinger Bands, you're kind of cooked if you reject that and go back down and make another all-time low. But if you mount it, which I think is likely, this whole chart is changed. This whole chart, this whole accumulation pattern suddenly becomes very bullish in my eyes. And I think that will come with fundamental news, and institutions will pick up on that and begin to drive the shares higher. But only time will tell, guys. Thank you for tuning in today to Trap Trades. I appreciate my 81 followers and the amount of momentum that we're building here. I want to keep this train rolling because I want to build a genuine retail community full of like-minded investors. So thank you for the love and support, guys. I appreciate all of the reaching out and you guys blowing up my Twitter every other day. Twitter's now at 86 followers. So I appreciate all the love, guys. We're going to continue to cover next week. So stay tuned for a pre-earnings update next week on Friday going into the weekend. It's been Trap Trades, guys. God bless and peace. Bye.